Good evening everyone and welcome to CRC. We are here for the LMP3s once again. It is round 7 of the championship and as you can see we're going straight into qualifying at the Donington Park circuit. I of course am James here, going to be taking you through the action. Joining me in the commentary box as per last week, it is 007 Professional. Professional, how you doing?
Good afternoon, James. Glad to be here. It's going to be a good race at Donington. Looking very much forward to this one.
It should be a fantastic race, and obviously there has been a little bit of a rush to get here. Professional just went through the door literally about 10 minutes ago and has joined me in the commentary box. I've literally hopped it over here from League of Europe as well, so if my voice is not as high as what it normally is, you can appreciate why. I've just had to commentate over 28 really exciting laps in League of Europe. But we come to Project Cars, 12 drivers here out on track tonight, and you are not a... You're not a broadcaster, apparently.
Yeah, I just see that. Interesting. Well, I shall retire and spectate, and I will then hop on over into joining the commentary box. So give me just a second. And yeah, interesting. Okay, so I guess that kind of worked out in the end here. I can still kind of view drivers and whatnot, but yeah, this will be a little different. That's okay.
It's okay, it's okay. 15 minutes worth of qualifying has just begun. Speedster is the first one out on track tonight. And with it being an expansive track here at Donington, we should see plenty of time for these drivers to get a good lap in these LMP3 cars. Darren Sinclair leads the way coming into tonight on 88 points. Speedster in second on 82, closing the gap up after that great race in Brno. And RRT Matter not here tonight, neither is H Racing Green. Is this Andy's opportunity to break into the top 3 tonight? Because he's only 12 points off Matter.
Yeah, I think Andy, like, you know, he missed last week, so he had a good chance last week. But I think tonight he's put in the practice. He's really focused in, and I think he's going to put in a good showing tonight. I expect him to be kind of like second or third and actually break into that top 3, as you were saying.
Yeah, hopefully Andy will be producing a good performance. I think he missed last week, so it's good to see him back here out on track, and you can see him there out on track. As Agulator has picked up a grid place penalty for a pit lane violation. He's sped coming at the pit lane, I think, as Agulator.
Probably.
So the Spaniard not doing the greatest thing out on track. But we go back on board with Speedster. He's now across the line to start us off here. Of course, we go around the Melbourne hairpin section of the track here tonight, and just to say some of the corner names, we now going through the Craner Curves through Hollywood and now doing through the Craner Curves here with Speedster. First sector split comes just after the old hairpin and through Starkey's Bridge, which will be this section that Speedster is coming up towards now. Of course, no indicator about how fast his first sector is, but we should see a good first sector nonetheless from Speedster as he now comes through McLean's, through this right-hander, and then through another right-hander at Coppice Corner before we go down towards the Fogarty S's, named after, of course, the motorbike legend that was Cole Fogarty, and, of course, taking numerous wins here at Donington when he was part of the British Superbike Championship. Speedster now running down towards the Fogarty S's, and then we go through onto the Grand Prix circuit. There is 2 versions of this track. Really quick through there, wasn't he? Goodness me.
Absolutely.
Now down into the Melbourne hairpin, and then through Goddard's and Week, which will be the next 2 corners up for Speedster. As he now coming through the final corners. Goddard's, and now on the Wheatcroft straight he comes to set a lap. What's his lap time going to be? Hits the line, and it's a 1:20.8. It's a very nice lap there by Speedster to kick us off. That could take some beating, to be honest.
Yeah, that's he's come out of the gate pretty strong, and that lap looked really clean, really precise. Who was that in the background?
Bart has spun and has damaged his windshield. Oh, and there's actually glitch coming out of the pit lane there. Just trying to pick up on board. Who was that coming through? I don't know.
It might have been Bart. Yeah, I think he went back to the pits immediately, so it might have been him.
It might have been him. New driver as well, Venom, MCR Venom, on his other account. He is here, 3/10 up through the first sector, and he's currently second with a 1:22.6. How do you think our newcomer's going to get on? Because we've seen him in TTL F2 among other leagues here on TTTV. How do you think Venom's going to get on tonight? Do you think he's going to do a good job? He's already quicker than Andy.
Yeah, he's coming from F1 kind of style racing, so he's going to pick this up quite fast. It's kind of a tricky circuit to kind of do your debut on here at Donington Park. It's a very narrow circuit, a lot of curves. If you get on the curves, you're pretty much, as we see somebody going off in the back. But yeah, this track is very narrow, it's very difficult, it's very high paced, especially through Sector 1, Sector 2. But he should get on quite well. I expect him to be hopefully top 5. I think that would be an excellent first showing.
Yeah, he was 6/10 up. He just ran slightly wide through the Fox. Yes, his speed, by the way, has just gone quicker with a 1:20.616. So he's just improved
2 seconds in front.
Yeah, nearly 2 seconds in front. He's improved 2/10 on his lap time as well. So already he's showing a lot of good pace.
Just watching, I think it's Aguilator coming out of the pits. Where's that Flaky? I can't tell.
It was Aguilator, the one who spun through turn 1. I was thinking to myself, who on earth was that car that spun through turn 1? And it was Aguilator, so I'm glad I've caught up on that, and Aguilator was the one that spun. Venom's still second, Andy in third. There is Venom actually just moving up. Oh, and Andy's just gone second. A second improvement there by Andy. 1.3 seconds off speed, but goes second.
Yeah, good for Andy. It's 1.3 off, but I mean that's still 1.3 off. So you know, P2, but there's still quite a gap. So he'll be looking probably more towards the race pace and probably more towards the longer game here. You know, it doesn't really matter where you start. I think anything in the top 5, avoid the incidents, first few laps, and then you should be good to go for the rest of the race. I think that's probably what his mindset is today.
Just right on board with his teammate as well, Darren Sinclair. Speedster's gone quicker, 1:20.5 now from Speedster. 3 consecutive lap times. He has set 3 consecutive fastest laps. He is set as well. Speeds are looking like different gravy out on track tonight. Sinclair now coming around the final couple of corners through the Melbourne hairpin. Our current championship leader. He is a rookie as well, coming into tonight and indeed into this season as well. We are halfway through the season as we come through tonight as well. But Sinclair, let's see what he's going to set. I think he might go second with this lap time. Venom, by the way, has gone second. Sinclair drops into third, 1:21.8. But Venom's second, the 1:21.6. Very good lap time. Oh, as we just see him go, well, from nearly a bit of a half spin. He's up 300ths of a second coming through McLean's. And Andy goes second and responds.
Wow, this is just fantastic. I mean, you got, you know, it's kind of like the F1 qualifying from last week. You know, just every lap people are setting faster laps, and I guess the track condition it's rubbering in, and the drivers are getting more comfortable.
Yeah, Nissan went fourth and just went straight on down towards turn 1. I think he was trying to get back into the pit lane, and he hit the wall on doing so. So Nissan just went completely straight on. But
Andy is now less than a second to Speedster. He improved by, what, 3 tenths or so? So you got Andy about, well, like 0.999, so pretty much 1 second exactly behind Speedster. Venom is in third, 1.1. Nissan, 1.2, and then Darren Sinclair, 1.3. So you got P2 all the way down to P5, separated by only, I mean, literally 3 tenths of a second. That's very, very close.
A second covering the top 7 as well, with Bart and Reisner Home included in that as well. Venom's gone quicker. 3 tenths within Speedster. 1:20.8. Responds the Scotsman.
Oh, and he runs, yeah, that's going to be invalidation, I think, getting on that curb. But, I mean, wow. I don't think we expected, I for sure didn't expect Venom to come out of the gate flying this much. This is insane, and back end just slips out there as we see him. But he's gotten very good control of this car. I think he's up to speed quite fast, and I'm quite impressed. So he's on for a good showing, on for a good race.
I wonder if he drives in any other Project Cars 2 leagues on this game. Quite interesting to see, because he's really picked this up quite quick. I was expecting him to be probably down towards the lower end of the field, to be honest. But he's just came in and brought it to Speedster already. It's like he's announcing his arrival. It's like Crusher Bro, to be honest. That's the comparison I could make.
Yeah, just coming into the league and just putting your foot down. I'm here. I'm ready to race. And if you want to fight, if you want to battle, I'm already up for it. That's, I think, what we're seeing from that. Looking down towards the end of the field, it seems like the big drop off from Emmanuel down to, I think that's Flaky, Allen, and then Aguilator. They're well off the pace. I'm not sure if they just haven't gotten a good lap in yet. 6 minutes remaining, so I'm sure they'll be putting in their fast laps coming soon.
Yeah, just running on board. We'll go on board with Flaky, see if he can improve. He's 4.7. Yeah, he's improving already by nearly 2 seconds on his lap time coming into the Melbourne hairpin. So he's only got the final sector to go, which is quite a short final sector here. You've got quite a short first sector, quite an expansive middle sector, and then you've got that very short final sector as well. Really, really drives the cars right to their limit. And Flaky now coming around the final corner on the Malaysian. Hopefully going to be setting a good time, saving no ground at all coming across the pit wall. Goes 8th.
P8?
On the 8th.
2.9.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds improvement though.
It just shows you, I think, how fast the top 7 drivers are. I mean, it's pretty close. And these LMP3s, I feel, they're harder to handle than the GT3s. They're more twitchy, and I feel like you can gain a lot of time if you take the correct lines, really get on the throttle application a bit smoother, maybe a bit earlier. That can definitely help, especially onto that back straight, that Starkey straight. It's a long straight up into that chicane, so yeah, interesting, very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. Speedster on a lap, it seems, coming through the Melbourne hairpin, or coming down towards the Melbourne hairpin, and he's not on a lap, he's 4.1 seconds down, which is a disappointment. I thought he would have continued his fastest laps run that he has been on, but he is in that Monster Energy liveried car. Speedster currently out on top on Venom in second. Never thought I'd say that here tonight. Venom in second and Andy in third position. Just running wide there down towards the Melbourne hairpin. I think he's on a lap easy. I'm not sure when Nissan runs wide there in P4. Darren Sinclair in P5. Our current leader of the championship coming into tonight. It could all easily change, and to be honest, if there wasn't even a race and we were just taking it off qualifying value as Darren Sinclair spun coming through Coppers.
Oh, Emmanuel's followed him. Emmanuel went off track as well. I think he might have seen Darren Sinclair and said, ooh, I just got distracted, but both their laps are pretty compromised at this point.
Yeah, Emmanuel actually took very good avoiding action actually, so Sinclair spinning, Emmanuel will take... Oh, when he's round! As soon as we say that, he's round.
Yeah, commentator's curse.
I've
nice
done
to avoid Darren. Somebody's behind him, though, on a lap, I think. That is Bart.
Bart, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's just backing off on the lap. But I think that's Nissim just in beyond. Looks like Nissim's missing a little bit of his front wing, I think. He is. That car looks very lopsided.
Yeah, Nissim up to P4. Did he improve or no?
No, he's already been in P4.
Yeah, okay. Ooh,
barking out the way there. Nissim second. Coming across the line, is he going to improve? I don't think he will. Nissim, yeah, no improvement there by Nissim, but stays P4 for now. 21.7, his current best lap time. Bart just in behind as well. Ressler Home improved, by the way, 122.1. So he now comes through the Melbourne hairpin, now onto the Wheatcroft straight. As now, Ressler Home with 3 minutes to go. Is he going to improve ahead of Bart? Let's see. No, 4.1 seconds down. Decisive no. Oh, very twitchy. In fact, the final corner was Andy. Very twitchy indeed, and doesn't improve by 0.3 of a second in the end. So Andy stays P3 on the same lap time, but Speedster's still the one to beat.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing just a kind of a, I don't know, like a repeat of last week in a sense, where he's obviously put in the practice. He feels really comfortable with this car and this track combo. To be honest, it's one of my favorite tracks, especially last season or past 2 seasons with the GT3s. It's just something about this track, like the undulations, the elevation change. It's very unique, all the corners. They're all different. What
Venom! Down the hill,
yeah,
down through, trying to think of the corner.
Just Craner curves? Old hairpin?
Yeah, old hairpin. That was it. Old hairpin. He spun through the old hairpin. Looked like he was improving, to be honest, before that. So Venom, unfortunately, that is going to be possibly his final lap. Because he's only got 1.9 litres of fuel.
Though, right? Yeah, you could make it around. No, it doesn't, because I think it's going to hit 0, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll hit 0 as soon as he goes on to the next lap. It's 1.7 now, and he's still got the Melbourne hairpin and everything to come. So
yeah, that's true.
Don't think Venom. Yeah, it's 1.5. I don't think he's going to be in time for another lap, unless he really just saves a lot of fuel. He has got his wipers on, by the way. I've just noticed that he's got his wipers on.
He may not notice because he may be driving in maybe like the roof cam or something, so he's not going to know that his wipers are on unless he's in cockpit view.
It doesn't look like they're moving as he comes through the Melbourne hairpin, but trust me, they are moving, and I can see them from my recently tested eyes. as recent as today, because I had an eye test today. But Venom coming out, yeah, 0.9 litres of fuel. He knows it. He's back into the pits.
He's done.
And he's done for the session. Andy's done as well. Speedster then on pole by the seams of it, unless Sinclair or Racing at Home or anyone else can improve ahead of Speedster. Let's see what he's doing through the middle sector. 4/10 down. Speedster needs to find 5/10 pretty much in this final sector. He looks guaranteed for pole position, but I'd use that a little bit quite easily. Manuel, by the way, did improve up to 8th. Bart improved this time, as did Racing at Home. So those three guys improved their times. 30 seconds to go. Speedster around the final corner. Still on very little fuel. He will get another lap in, actually, Speedster. Across the line he comes. Yeah, 7/10 down, not improving. But fuel is going to go down. Speedster could yet improve. Sinclair now coming through the Melbourne hairpin. Going to be one of the next to come across the line. Let's see if he can improve the Scotsman, the current leader in the championship, as he will only get one shot at this as he comes now through Goddard's and now onto the Wheatcroft straight for the final time. And timer is done. Speedster is done as well. He's into the pit lane. Darren doesn't improve, stays 5th. Bart,
interesting.
Emmanuel, Aguilera, who is next one to come across the line. So Aguilera, the Spaniard, next one to come across the line. Aguilera making his debut here tonight in LMP3s.
Really? Has he not done any other... Is this his first race tonight?
I think it is, because he normally competes in IndyCar, and Alan put out a message saying if any IndyCars drivers are available, as he improves by 0.6 of a second there. Aguilera still in 10th, 23.8, but good improvement nonetheless. Alan has done, as you can see, he half-spun the car there. Emmanuel next to come across the line. Through Goddard's he comes. But yeah, Aguilera is making his debut here tonight in the LMP3s. He was part of GT3s, but never a part of LMP3s until so far this season. And I mean, Bart has been in the absolute wars coming through the final corner. Goodness me.
That rear end is slippery.
He looks like he's been in a fight with a crocodile and Steve Irwin, to be honest there. But Speedster has taken pole position from Venom in second, who is not Zimbabwean, by the way. He is Scottish. Venom in second, Andy in third. Oh, you just have to love some of the nationalities on this game. The Bosnian Nissim in P4 from Sinclair in P5. Racing at Home in P6. 1.4 seconds actually separating the top 7, which isn't too bad at all, with Bart in 7th, Emmanuel in 8th, Flaky in 9th. Aguilera starts 11th, because Alan's ahead of him because he had a great penalty. And you're starting 12th apparently, but you're not, because you're in the commentary box with me.
Absolutely, there we go. And I am good to go. Just retired from the race. So,
yeah. How do you think this one's going to pan out, though? Because we've got Speedster, Venom, Andy, top 3. Is there anybody behind that could really make a name for themselves? I'm looking at Darren, possibly, to strike an early blow, possibly on these guys ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, the turn 1, like, the run down to turn 1 is not that long. It's very narrow. So, you know, we've seen in the past a lot of these guys get, you know, various starts, you know, better starts than others. So we're going to possibly see like a bottleneck up in the turn 1, turn 2. They're going to have to keep their heads because it's an hour-long race. And if Speedster can get a really good start, he might pull Seb Vettel from 2012, 2013, just absolutely vanish into the distance, you know, create that 3-4 second gap. Darren, I think, a little surprised on his pace. I expected him to be maybe P3, P4, so he might be looking to play the long game as well. But he can definitely keep his head, and I think maybe not at the first lap or so, but look to him maybe towards the latter half of this race. Andy, I think, could have a good shot of winning this thing, if not definitely P2. Venom, though, is going to be the one that I'm going to be watching.
Venom on 27 litres of fuel.
Oh, are you serious?
I'm not. It's 27 litres of fuel and we're about to begin, so Venom sadly has underfueled. He will have to pit in very early indeed. He'll find that out soon. But Speedster, 3 red lights sequence are going out. And we're underway for round 7. Venom gets a very quick start. Speedster off the line quite good as well.
P1.
But already Venom into the lead of the race. Yes, Speedster down to turn 1, caught napping. And Andy trying to go around the outside of him as well. Speedster has not got a great start at all, and Andy's trying to go around the outside, and it's too wide down to the crane of curves. Oh my goodness me! This could be hell on earth for these two, but they keep it clean. Andy settles back in third. Oh, he's caught the curb. Good recovery. Kept it going.
Oh, that was amazing saving that. But he's lost a ton of positions. There was a huge pile up, and somebody is off. Who
That is Alan, I think, that was off. Or Racing Home, one of the two. Yeah, Racing Home was the one that was off track, taking out the puddle.
Oh, there's huge collision between Bart and...
It's Flaky and Alan.
Yeah.
Flaky and Alan getting caught up in Ninson. Obviously a little bit of a bottleneck going into McLean's, I think. But Venom has shot away 1.3 seconds. Does he realise there's 59 minutes left?
I don't know. He might be... what kind of strategy is he doing as... Racing at Home is looking? No, he doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty crazy in the back. A lot of track limits, as you can see. But I think we all survived that first few corners.
Yeah, apart from a little bit of contact, it was actually not too bad. Nissim is all over the back of Speed. So Andy has dropped down to 6th, by the way, as a result of an incident earlier on. I think he went wide, of course, through the old hairpin. And he's down to P6, but Venom leads at the end of lap 1. Speed to 2nd, Nissim in 3rd, Davin Sinclair in 4th, Emmanuel 5th, and Andy in 6th. Currently, as it stands, if I'm not mistaken, Speedster would be 1 point off the championship lead as it stands.
Interesting. That was... I really feel for Andy, and I can tell he's going to be quite disappointed with that. I think he had a good shot as Darren goes wide, pretty much the same place that Andy did, down at the old hairpin, where the crane occurs. I don't know which one, but one of those places. It's really easy to just get that massive understeer and just kind of push off. But Nissim is kind of giving Speedster a hard time. I'm not sure if he can keep that up throughout the race, but it's good pressure right now. Venom, as you said, is about 1.2 seconds out in front. Speedster seems to be coming back though, so we'll see. Keep an eye on that gap as well. Everything else seems to be pretty status quo at the moment.
Sinclair has picked up a penalty. Emmanuel picked up a penalty as well. 1 second's worth. Just having a look on the timing screens there. But I think Venom is now beginning to pay for his early exertions because Speedster is catching 1.1 seconds the gap out in front. We're right on board with the American. Winner of last time out in Brno, 9/10 away from the back of Venom. Venom trying to make the early getaway, but I'm afraid it's going to be so unfortunate he will have to pit in. Has he thought, possibly, of trying to undercut these guys and then see if these guys react to him and come into the pit with him? He's thinking more like the F1 driver, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure because the pit stops take forever in this game, especially trying to fill it with fuel. With how fast this track is. He may have actually put in that 23, 24 liters of fuel for qualifying and just forgot to change that for the race. And I think that might have been what happened. So I guess we'll find out from after the race, but so we'll see. We'll see.
We will see indeed. There's not really much going on, to be honest. Oh, and Emmanuel catches a spin out of Coppice. Good recovery by Emmanuel. He's on the grass. He's all over the shop. Andy up to 5th. Emmanuel somehow keeps a hold of that car and somehow keeps a hold of P6. Because goodness me, he was so wide there coming through Coppice. A good recovery though, nonetheless. He can now focus on trying to get back at Andy.
Yeah, like I said, these curbs are pretty lethal. If you run wide on the curb, it can definitely just snap that rear end, and I think that's kind of what happened to Andy on lap 1 as well. He's gotten that curb bit, too much speed. But everything seems to be settling down now, which is it's okay, which is a good thing. Yeah, Bart giving... No, it's Racing at Home catching up to TTG Bart. We'll see if that battle can... see what happens with that battle. Alan P9.
Oh, Emmanuel spun. P10. Emmanuel spun coming out of turn 1. So now Racing at Home's trying to go around the outside of him through the crane of curves. That's a bit of a... I would say it's a bit of a dangerous rejoin, but it's not really. Racing at Home realised he was rejoining the track. Perfectly safe, I think, given that we were going probably side by side through the crane of curves almost if Racing at Home kept his foot down and tried to go around the outside. So I think he backed out of, inevitably, I think, what was going to be contact.
Absolutely, and they are teammates as well, so probably just playing the team game and making sure that they can bring both cars home and in a good position for that Constructors' Championship.
Speedster.
Everything's going pretty okay, I think. Speedster's keeping that 1.3-ish, 1.5-ish gap to Venom. Nissim's in P3. Whoops. Oh, I almost quit the session. I pressed circle there and almost left. Nissim in P3, Darren in P4. Darren is about 7 seconds back. Go on.
Bart and Emmanuel having a good set two through the Melbourne hairpin, actually going pretty much side by side through there. Bart holds on to the position. Emmanuel, Bart has actually got that position. So Emmanuel's dropped down to 7th. Looks like he might have ran slightly wide, but Bart down the inside gets the move done. He got the traction around the outside of the corner. Bart now through, and he's up to P6. Good move.
Very good move. Yeah, I'm watching that battle here, and let's see if Racing and Home can catch up to his teammate Emmanuel, and we'll see maybe some team orders come into play. If they get the call from the pit wall, they may have to do like a multi-21 in switch or multi-12 or whatever you want to call it, but they may swap positions. Looks like Racing and Home does have the pace on Emmanuel at the moment, so they don't want to let Bart get away too much. They want to be chasing down like a top 6, maybe even a top 5 result today.
Emmanuel arguably looking quicker than Bart, as he just runs wide there, coming through McLean's. Now up the hill through Coppice. Venom still leads, but inevitably he's going to have to come into the pit lane. I mean, he's got 17 litres worth of fuel. That, unfortunately, is not even going to get him to halfway, maybe not even through 15 minutes of this race, let alone towards the end, which is unfortunate.
I want to see what he does, and when he does pit, you know, is he going to fill up the tank? Is he going to put in another 23, 24 liters of fuel? So, yeah, I'm not really sure, because I think you have to set your pit strategy before you ready up. So if he hasn't done that, then you may have to be in the pit lane quite a long time, you know, to fill up that tank all the way. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's going to mess up his race a lot. But with his pace and quali, he could come back and maybe get a 6th or 7th. I'm not sure if maybe other people make mistakes and he doesn't. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure.
If I was honestly biting I would honestly bite the bullet and pit in this lap if I was Venom, because that fuel is only going to run down, and the more fuel he runs towards his pit stop, the more laps he does, the less that fuel will be towards the end of his stint, and the more time he will have to spend in the pit lane. So surely it's just wise enough for him to come in the pits now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. You know, I would probably do the same thing if I was him. That's yeah, very good point. We'll see what he does. I think he'll probably run it down though to close to 0. As we got who's that in the background? Emmanuel. Yeah, Emmanuel's still giving Bart kind of a hard time. Right, excuse me. Racing at Home is kind of dropping off the pace a little bit as Bart cuts the chicane. Emmanuel gets a really good run, goes on the inside, and should get this move done. Bart is being a bit defensive.
Oh, does it down the inside. Spins it. Oh, good avoidance by Racing at Home, but Emmanuel ran really struggling with that back end. That's multiple times already this race that we have seen him in a spinning position. So Emmanuel now down into P8. Penalties update though. Speed has got 2 seconds worth of penalties. Emmanuel and Alan have got 4.
Oh, and then somebody who's in the back, I think that's Aguilator. No, Alan.
That is Alan round,
spun out of the front straight, which is what, Wheatcroft straight?
Yeah, Wheatcroft straight through Goddard's. He's
probably just a bit too aggressive on the throttle. He's going to the pits?
Yeah, he's an admin. He's reversing on track and he's going into the pit lane, it seems. Or is he? Yeah, he does. He might have to give a penalty to himself with that one, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If I just decided, you know, he's right at the pit lane, it might be better just to pit anyway, but all the same, you really can't and shouldn't be reversing on the track. Is a very dangerous situation.
Venom now under pressure from Speedster. Speedster's really got the bit between his teeth now, out on track. It's 1.4 seconds. It was 1.9 at one stage. Speedster beginning to close in. Venom, 12.6 litres of fuel. 3 words come to my mind. Pit, pit, pit.
Now, pit now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Adam's been lapped
12
as well.
liters to go. Yeah. I'm watching the battle between, like, Andy is catching up to Darren, but Bart is, I think, driving a fantastic race. He's right on the back of Andy, has been catching up, or Andy might have made a mistake at Goddard's or whatever. But Bart is putting in a really good showing, so he's up for definitely a top 5 finish today. You can keep it on the track.
Andy, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's made a mistake, because Darren was 4 seconds off him the last time I looked, and Andy, I think, was ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken. Andy was ahead of him, and he's now down to P5. So I think he's lost that position to Darren. Has there been a little bit of team orders, I wonder?
Possibly. I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that. Yeah, being, you know, they're the drivers of Bulldog Racing team, but you know they're always going for that team result, so they may have done that team orders. I don't know, but watching Bart, good pace. Excuse me. Racing at home, so I'm just trying to skip down to sandwiches while between this. Racing at home runs slightly wide onto that back straight, which is Starkey's straight. Racing at home putting in a pretty decent showing as well, but that top three with Venom, Speedster, and Nissan, they are definitely a class of their own. You know, about 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds in front of the rest of the field. Nissan is good. He missed last week as well, but today he seems to be putting in driving very, very well.
Timing's just glitched out completely there on my screen. It was saying Nissan was 1 minute and 26 seconds ahead of Venom, which is quite weird.
Yeah,
well, there you go. There's Project Cars 2 for you. Speedster, though, is chasing down Venom. But Venom, quickest lap of the race, 21.9. And he was 0.3 quicker than Speedster. Yeah, he's running low fuel, but he's outpacing Speedster at quite a comparative rate, to be honest. Speedster is just under the cosh, I think, tonight. He doesn't look like he's got the pace compared to Venom. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and, you know, like, from last week, I think we saw a different kind of Speedster, too. So he may be playing, you know, the longer game, and I think he's not really pushing. He's being quite smooth, if I'm being honest. His lines are absolutely fantastic. So he's definitely put in the practice, I can tell, and he really wants the win today. And obviously if Venom pits, then Speedster will be P1. You have that 6 or so second gap down to Nissan. And just like we saw at Brno last week, keeping that 6 to 7, 8 second gap to P2 and just kind of controlling the pace, controlling the race. And he's got another win. So we'll see if he can keep his head today and finish strong.
Yeah, Venom 2 seconds clear. Racing Home, by the way, has just dropped... Manual, sorry, I think has just dropped behind Racing Home, if I'm not mistaken. So Manual now down to P8 once again. Racing Home in 7th. He's actually made a mistake because he was about 3 seconds off the last time I looked. He's now 7 seconds off. Well, 5 seconds now. Racing Home down to 7th position. Speedster trying to gain on Venom, though. Venom, 7.4 litres of fuel left. He will have to come into the pits eventually.
Eventually,
well, he'll have to come in. He'll have to come in now, to be honest.
He should have come in probably about 5 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. But he just, I don't know, probably wants to run it down. Is having a good time out there, enjoying himself, running in P1. When he comes out of the pits, though, I'm not sure where he's going to end up. Like, where in the field do you think he's going to end up?
If he it depends on how much fuel he puts up.
Exactly.
I think if he puts like a full tank of fuel, he could be out in, what, 8th position, I think?
You think that? I think possibly like P10 or even lower. It's going to be... I don't know. I'm not sure how long these pit stops take with fuel.
Andy's had a spin through McLean's, and he's now dropped behind Racing Home in a manual. So he was 6th. He was 5th, actually. He was ahead of Bart, who made a mistake, and now Andy has dropped significantly down on the Scotsman, down to 8th position. If he's going to have to channel his inner Algarve, it has to be now, 46 minutes from the end.
Yeah, I think he's possibly overdriving. He's made a few mistakes, obviously, so he may be trying to catch up and just possibly overdriving that car a little bit. He needs to maybe just calm down a bit, get back into the focus. There's 45 minutes remaining, so it's a long race. We've already seen multiple spins from Andy, so bit of a shame to see, but I'm sure he's going to be coming straight back through the field. He's only about 5 seconds, 6 seconds behind Emmanuel, who is only about 4 seconds behind Racing at Home. So definitely P6, P5 is definitely possible.
Those guys have been prone to spinning as well as Andy. So I think all 4 of them, Bart, Racing at Home, Emmanuel and Andy, they're going to be in the same boat, I think, in terms of the amount of spins that could happen between those guys. And literally as soon... Oh, I thought as literally as soon as I said that, I thought Emmanuel had spun, but I've just realised the gap is 5 seconds. So yeah, that's my eyesight, my newly tested eyesight going there.
Getting glasses or new contacts?
Yep, getting 2 new pairs of glasses next week, so I'll be ending up looking like Elton John. There you go. But Speedster, chasing down Venom, responds. New fastest lap of the race by Speedster. 1.5 seconds.
Oh, Venom!
Oh, and he spun! Oh, Speedster!
He's lost it.
Great recovery. He's on the gravel, but he stays in the lead of the race. Oh my goodness me!
Very good avoidance. I mean, gosh, I'm sure his heart went through his mouth there. That was hard stopping. But yeah, what a shame. I think Venom really needs to pit. He only has 3.5 liters of fuel left, and
yeah, those
Nissim's
tires
right behind.
Nissim, looking at him. Look at him. He's so much quicker. I wonder actually if Venom is trying to save fuel. He cannot save fuel to the end of the race because that's just insane.
Yeah, it's just impossible. I mean, out of this world. I think Nissim just wants to get past, and he sees Speedster finally up, only about 2 seconds in front.
Wonder if Speedster knew if Venom was running a lower fuel mix than him, like lower fuel load.
I don't think he does. Maybe that's why he was setting that fast lap and trying to catch him. He might have thought Venom actually has a full tank of fuel and is going to give me a run for my money. Once he sees Venom pit, though, I think Speedster's going to probably take a big breath and say, okay, got P1, let me just control this race. And we'll see if Venom pits this time. He should. I don't think he'll even make it next time round if he doesn't.
2 liters of fuel. I mean, you saw how fast it went in qualifying on him. So now, I think Venom, he's going to come into the pits. So this is it. Venom into the pits from P2 out on track. Never thought I'd be seeing a pit stop here tonight in Donington, but yeah, you never know what you expect in motorsport these days. Venom now into the pit lane. Let's see if he's going to put a full tank of fuel into that car. By God, I hope he does. Because if he doesn't,
I think he does too.
He's a fuel. Yeah, 27 litres of fuel. He's going past 27 litres, which I'm glad to say. It'll be now about 40 odd, 45. He's going to be out in around P8, I think, to be honest. Emmanuel and Andy only out the final corner. He's going to be released out of his pit box now, and he's put 62.5 litres of fuel. That's actually 80 litres of fuel. It's more than enough
Blakey
to get to the
coming around
end.
Goddard right now. Maybe P9.
Yeah, he's going to get P9. And Alan's spun at the final corner as well. Yeah, Venom out in P9, so not too far off, to be honest, in my prediction.
Yeah, that's actually, pretty good.
Quite perfect.
Where is he at? Right behind Flaky, so definitely P8 is going to be within his reach within about a lap or so. Andy's spun, his rear wing is off.
Oh! What on earth has happened there? I wonder if there's been contact with Racing at Home.
I'm looking at Racing at Home. I don't see any visible damage. Racing at Home just goes off.
He's gone off
again. Maybe suspension damage. I don't see any visible damage though. That's very odd.
I wonder if
Andy
he's
having just it's a miserable race. I feel for him. That's gutting because he missed last week. He was in the fight for the championship, and obviously today is really not going to help. That's going to be a huge blow to his championship hopes.
Yeah, he was getting out of the way of Alan there as well. You can see his rear wing completely off the car. I don't think I've seen... honestly, it looks like he's got an anchor on the back of that car now.
Yeah, that car is... Oof.
Broke.
Yeah, that's one way to say broke.
That's what the greatest observation I think I'd ever made on a car. Rear wing off, it's broke. And there's Speedster actually just coming into the back of shop. So there's Speedster, the leader, gonna lap Andy.
Oh, man.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, Nissim, though, he's losing time to Speedster. He was only about 2.5 seconds about 2-3 laps ago. Now it's about 4.2, 4.3. Going through that chicane. What's that chicane called? The S's. Oh.
The S's, yeah. Cone on the track as well. Andy just putting a cone on the track. Really struggling to get that car. That's Nissim just coming through there at Melbourne Hairpin. Flaky, yeah. Venom, oh, he's round! Venom's round through McLean's. No, sorry, through the old hairpin, I should say. So Venom has spun. Looked like he got the job done on Flaky down into the old hairpin. He's just taken too much speed and he's spun on the curb. So Venom now back down to P9 and all that hard work. All of that hard work to get past Flaky. He's got to do it again and get past Aguilera at the same time. So unfortunate.
Looks like he's got Allen. Allen's on the grass, always loses the back end. My goodness. I'm telling you, this track is, like I predicted, it's very difficult, it's very high speed and narrow, and these curbs can just really, really bite you the wrong way, and I think we're kind of seeing that now. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with about 20 minutes to go. We're going to see a lot more of this, potentially, so I think the focus, the endurance is going to really test these drivers today. That'll be exciting to watch.
It will be exciting. Speeds. It's not really an exciting race to be watching, to be honest, but it's still quite good. Speeds are leading the way by 5.2 seconds from Nissim, the man you're on board with currently on the stream. Of course, Professional alongside me in the commentary box. He's doing his own thing with the cameras because he was supposed to be a driver, obviously retiring. we'll blame racing at home as we always do here in CRC. But Darren Sinclair in third hasn't had the best race at all, but is keeping it quite consistent. And again, consistency really is the key. Speedster at this moment in time will be taking the championship lead off Sinclair, but I think that's the least of his worries. Sinclair, as long as the penalties don't rack up from Speedster and Nissim ahead, Sinclair could actually have a chance of winning this. I'm looking at the penalties now that the guys have got. Nissim's got 4 seconds, Speedster and Darren have got 2 seconds respectively, and I mean Bart in behind has got 1. It could be a case of...
Emmanuel's got 10.
Emmanuel's got 10. It could be the case of who gets the most amount of penalties, and that could really change up towards the end of the race, because it's already been, what, 20 minutes through, and we're not even through halfway yet.
Yeah, you bring up a really, really good point. And I think Sinclair is just thinking, you know, maybe P3 is the best I can do today, but it'd be better to not spin and maybe lose P4 or P5. As we just saw, you know, Andy made a mistake, and that has, you know, pretty much ruined his race. So he's down to P11. That'll be a lot of points lost. So maybe Darren is thinking, okay, let me get P3. You know, today's just not a great race. Let me focus on the next few races, try to bring that championship points gap, or try to extend that, or, you know, close it back up on speed. So that's probably what he's thinking.
Yeah, it is probably what he's thinking, and to be honest, I think Speeds are doing a fantastic job out on track, and it's 5.9 seconds, but Sinclair has got to try and put the effort in now. He's lapping slower than Speedster and Nissim ahead, but the battle now really seems to me to be between Flaky, Agulator, and possibly even Venom, because Venom is beginning to get back into this and is lapping quicker than the guys ahead. It's 5 seconds the gap roughly, 4.5 if you're being picky. Flaky and Agulator slower than Venom. Surely it's just a matter of time within the next, what I would say, 5 minutes for Venom to catch these two and pass, because I think he'll get Agulator within the next 2 laps.
Yeah, I mean, he's well over just about 2 seconds and faster a lap than Agulator, and about 1 second a lap faster than Flaky. So I think, yeah, he'll catch him within a few laps pass. His pace is also better than racing at home, so if racing at home makes a mistake or something, he could definitely catch, but he's only 10 seconds behind racing at home. So that's, you know, 37 minutes to go. He's definitely going to catch at this rate. And as you said, Darren, he's slower than both Nissim and Speedster. Nissim was about 4/10 slower that last lap than Speedster. Speedster's setting about mid-22s, high 22s. Everybody else is in the 23s and 24s. Agulator's in the 25s and 26s. So if we're just looking at pure pace, then Speedster just has it on the entire field, and I think that's showing the gap to Nissim is already 6.3. It was only 4.5 a few laps ago. So I expect with, you know, the next few minutes when we hit halfway mark, he'll be at about an 8 to 9 second gap. So yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, like you said, they're not the most exciting race in the world, but it's definitely interesting to say the least, with Venom having that pit stop for fuel, Andy losing his rear wing, so that's kind of changed up the order a bit. We've had a few spins here and there, but the top 3 just seem to be kind of in their own world. Did Darren spin or anything, or is that just the pace? 'Cause he's 25 seconds behind Speedster now. Yeah,
that's the pace of Nissim and Speedster ahead.
Wow, that's incredible.
Just right on board with Venom. You can hear, actually, because I've got the game sound now coming through my headset. You'll probably be able to hear it on the stream and everything, but you can probably hear Venom, as soon as he cut across that chicane, you heard the little grinding there. That was actually him going partly into the gravel through that section of the track. So it's really interesting just to pick up on the little things. You can hear the gauge changes as well as Venom is on the back of Agulator. There's a sign on the track through the inside of Goddard's there as Venom now closes in on Agulator. I said he'd get him within the next 2 laps. I'm not too far off the prediction.
Yeah, you're on point with predictions tonight. Who did you say was going to win tonight? You said Speedster, right?
I didn't make a prediction for the win.
Oh, we didn't do predictions, yeah.
We didn't. I would have said Speedster. I would have said Speedster for the win. I would have said
the same thing.
I would have said Sinclair second, Andy third, and look how the race has gone.
I didn't expect him to be up in P2, but he's doing quite well. Venom's right in the back of Agulator, and he'll be probably making a pass at the S's. I had to make a prediction.
He might get him actually on the Exeter Coppice, and I think he will, because Agulator's ran wide, and this is Venom's opportunity now to come back. The F1 man from TTLF2 against Agulator, the IndyCar man, both in their baptism of fires here tonight, down into the fog of the S's. but stays as they
Aguilator's
are.
on the gravel. And that really slowed down the momentum of Venom. I mean, you saw Aguilator just maybe cut the inside chicane just a bit too much, got on that gravel, had to let up, and Venom was probably a bit surprised that he had to possibly stomp on the brakes. It's a little loose there, but going into Goddard's now might look down the inside. No, he's biding his time. Smart man.
Down into turn 1, I think. If he gets a really good exit here, which he has, here comes Venom. This is it. This is the move done down in towards Redgate, possibly for Venom. This is for P8 out on track. Can Venom dive it down the inside? He's late on the brakes. He forces Aguilator into a mistake completely, and that is what Venom exactly ordered the Scotsman through, and he's up to 8th. Aguilator forced into a mistake. Simple as that.
That right there is the F1 driving, the F1 experience coming into play here. You know, he waited, he was very patient, kind of set up the line a little bit, kept himself in Aguilator's mirrors, and then just forced Aguilator into a mistake in turn 1. So, yeah, I think that experience is definitely coming into play. Really big shame that he had to just underfuel the car. I really wanted to see what he could do up in the top of the field, maybe give Speedster a run for his money.
Yeah, totally, and I think he's now catching Flaky. It's now 2.3 seconds, the gap or something like that. As it comes down towards Fogarty, we've had a disconnect from the session, and it's Alan that is disconnected. So Alan disconnecting from 10th position. Whether that's a give up or not is a different matter. I think might be a disconnect because he was having a couple of issues rejoining Racing Home session just before we came live. So he looks like he's lagged out of the session, or he's just retired the car, purely.
He might have just retired the car, I'm not really sure. Because he had already pitted, I think he got damaged and whatnot. Andy, though, is, I mean, look at that, over 3 minutes behind. But if he can stick it out and get a P10, I think that's, how many points, I don't know what the points is, but, you know, like, I think any points today where Andy would be good, and obviously won't help the championship. Probably stay in P5, it may actually move down to P6. Racing at home, depending on his points, may actually jump Andy in the championship. So that'll be, yeah, that might happen. But looking at the constructors, I think Bulldog Racing Team will probably stay and retain that championship lead in the constructors. IRT Janetta will probably keep P2. So, yeah, we'll see. But, you know, we are missing H Racing Green.
Oh, Flaky has just let through Venom down the straight.
Why? That's interesting.
That was easy. Venom was catching completely. He was well off. He was 5/10 off, actually, coming down through Coppice. And Flaky's just let him through. Venom up to 7th. Strange one, that.
Yeah.
Fight for the position, at least.
Yeah, come on, we need some entertainment here.
Yeah, we don't want a boring race. We don't want a 2 out of 10, which is what probably this mark is currently. But,
yeah, 2, 3-ish.
Yeah.
So Venom, I want to look at lap times. So Venom is on around a 23.8, so about high 23s. Racing at Home is low 24s. He's about 12 seconds behind Racing at Home, so I mean he's catching. He's catching, so. Yeah, we'll see if he can catch and pass. Emmanuel seemed to kind of get his head back in the game a bit. He's in P5. Lap times aren't that great. He did a 27.3 last lap, so definitely off the pace. Not sure if he ran off track or something. But he's only about 5 seconds in front of Racing at Home. So Venom definitely has the possibility to get P5, I think. Bart, again, I'm impressed by him. He's only had 1 second of penalties. Darren's had 2, but he's still keeping in touch with Darren Sinclair. So I think this is Bart's, you know, one of his more stronger races in terms of pace and consistency. He's not cutting the grass as much as he was last week in Brno. So he's not. I think he's left the lawnmower at home today, which is a good thing, especially at this track. But good for Bart. And then looking at the top 3 again, Nissan was only 0.2 slower last lap than Speedsta. So that gap used to be around, I don't know, like 8 or so. It's around 7.7 now. So I think Speedsta's just controlling the pace and maybe looking at lap times of Nissan and saying, okay, I'm going to go faster here, I'll go slower here. But yeah, pretty okay at the moment. Just a lot of gap battling and trying to keep the car on track.
Yeah, pretty standard race, I think this is now for CRC. Currently out on track. Speeds are just through halfway. If you're just tuning in, welcome to what I can only describe as a ball. Maybe. Can I describe it as a ball? I think I can. Oh, Nissim spun! Nissim spun!
As soon as I talk about Nissim, oh, come on.
Through, and he's completely off track.
Interesting line, yeah. What the...
He spun through Redgate. I think we can guarantee that. He has spun through Redgate, and Nissim now 16.6 seconds off and has just handed what was left of Speedster's dinner onto an absolute plate and for the win, essentially.
Oh, I like that. That's funny. If he does one more of those or a few more of those, you know, Darian Sinclair could possibly get a P2, and you know, Mr. Consistency, as we like to call him, he's definitely showing that today. And I don't even know if he's had any off track. I know he's had one off track, but he's had no spins, right, Darren?
No, he's keeping it really consistent once again.
Yeah, over the course of that championship, I think that'll definitely pay dividends. But yeah, we're kind of into that mid-race lull, kind of an F1 where you have, you know, before the pit stops or like the first, I don't know, 25% of the race after the first few laps, everybody's kind of settling in, you know, easing up on the tires because they've already used them up in the first few laps. But I think we're kind of in that point, that lull, where you kind of just have to sit back, be patient, see what happens, and right now it's who can make it to the end cleanly and in one piece.
It is turning into a war of attrition. I think that's what we can say purely out on track, because it is really beginning to turn into a war of attrition. I mean, the whole field pretty much is spread by, what, 3.5 minutes, given Andy's down in 10th, but the rest pretty much spread by, what, 1 minute and 17?
17 seconds,
out on track, which is, yeah, it's not great for viewing, but it's okay to commentate on. 27.5 minutes left, Speedster leads Nissim second, Darren in third. Let's have an update on the penalties, actually, because this could be the interesting factor between who gets fifth and who doesn't. Speedster out on top on 2 seconds worth of penalties, Nissim on 5, Darren on 2, Bart on 1, Emmanuel on 13 seconds worth of penalties. I don't know how Nissim's only got 5 seconds after his track extension. Racing at home
yeah.
has got 2 seconds. Venom has got 1 second. Flaky's got nothing. Flaky's got absolutely
driver
nothing.
Driver of the day. Flaky, driver of the day. 0 penalties.
I would say that, but he is getting closed down by Agulator quite consistently, and Flaky's actually, I think, made a mistake. He's just let through Speedster, and now Agulator's only 1.5 seconds behind, so we could get, actually, a battle for 8th here.
Yeah, Flaky's times, so 27.1 last lap. Agulator 23.5 the lap before. Yeah, so you brought up a good point, like it's, you know, kind of hard to commentate on, you know, here and there. I just kind of thought of, like, those endurance races, you know, like those 12, 24-hour endurance races. You know, how do those commentators, you know, talk for that long? Obviously, they take shifts and whatnot, but endurance races, I feel like, are a bit harder because there's not that constant on-track battling, you know, wheel-to-wheel that you would get possibly in, like, an F1, you know, a 50% race that, you know, you commentate on, you know, multiple times a week, or you know, possibly like, you know, ACC or iRacing or whatnot. But, you know, 10 drivers on field, really 9 if you want to count Andy out because he's 3 minutes and 30 seconds behind. But, you know, it's, you know, with the track like this, 9 drivers, you know, these LMP3 cars I think are possibly causing the gaps to be a bit bigger. The skill gap I think is wider with these cars compared to the GT3s or the GT4s that CRC has run in the past. It's just these cars are very tricky to drive. Like, the rear ends are very edgy, and so I think, you know, if you do put in the practice, you will be fast. If you don't put in the practice, you will not be fast. And I think we're kind of seeing just this skill gap these past few races with these cars. Something that I've noticed.
Yeah, Flaky now getting closed down by Agulator. IndyCar man against our traditional MP3 driver. This could be quite interesting. Agulator on his debut, coming into a bit of a baptism of fire, as I've already said, here tonight with 25 minutes left to go. This is the only battle out on track, and maybe one of the only battles we've had all race.
And you're talking about Flaky, right? Yes.
Yeah, and he's and he's let through Agulator.
Just let it.
Oh no, Agulator runs wide. Agulator running wide there, and Flaky, he let him through at a very weird point of the track, just uphill into Coppice. and has forced Aguilera into a mistake. I didn't think he meant that at all. He was letting him through. Aguilera's just broke himself completely, and Flaky's now P8. And Flaky rightfully lets through the position at a point of the track where you can let through a driver. Aguilera now through to P8. Inevitably, it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah. I'm not really sure why Flaky is just letting drivers by, and I would hope that he would want to give some sort of a battle.
He's got to think about the...
P7, P8.
Yeah, he's got to... Oh, Aguilera spun! Out of Goddard's! Completely losing the front end there, and Aguilera makes a mistake purely by himself there. So Flaky and Aguilera into the pits. Has he got... He sustained damage, but it didn't look like it was suspension or anything like that. Aguilera into the pit lane, so we'll see as he comes into his pit box.
Fuel is okay, right? I think 33 liters with 23 minutes to go. He should be okay to make it to the end.
He's probably thinking...
just come in for damage. I don't know.
Thinking there's like so much damage on that car, it's pretty much undrivable. But that was only, what, a 15-20 second stop in between. Somewhere in between that. Comes out in track.
He's already out of the pits. Andy is just coming through Goddard's right now, so... You know, if Aguilera makes a few more mistakes, Andy could actually get up to P9. And that would be kind of a race semi-salvaged, since he was down in P11 at one point.
He has got Bart, I think, just in behind him, actually, out on track. So, basically, Aguilera has been up by the three leaders, but Bart is behind him out on track. He's currently in fourth. Racing Home, by the way, is closing in on Emmanuel. It might not seem that way, but he is. And Venom, actually... closing massively on Racing at Home. 23 flat compared to a 27.3 last time around. Venom lapped quicker than Speedster last time around.
Yeah, wow. Quicker by about 1/10. Nissan actually lapped quicker than Speedster last lap as well. So in a few laps, we're going to see Venom catch Racing at Home, which those two will catch Emmanuel, so we'll have a 3-car battle, hopefully.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. If we don't, then yeah, we're going to downgrade it to a 1.5, I think, this race. Venom on the back of Racing at Home. It's 3 seconds-ish, the gap currently out on track. 3.5 seconds, as Alan has disconnected from the session. He retired the car. But Venom now hunting down Racing at Home. He's definitely getting a lot closer, I think, out on track is Venom. And this could be the time where Venom... Oh, and I've just said that, and he spun through the Melbourne hairpin.
He just hit the wall too. I just went on board with him too, and he just was concertining around, spinning the rear end. I don't know what it's about me, and I don't know, watching certain drivers, they just start spinning. I feel bad now.
I feel very bad, because I thought, I was just saying he was catching Racing at Home as well, and then he goes and does that.
The commentator's curse is real.
Third commentator's curse of the night, including the one that I did in League of Europe. And that was 8 minutes into qualifying I did that, so... Oh, we have got a battle. It's Speedster getting held up here by... Who is that he's getting held up by? Racing at Home.
Is that Racing at Home?
It is, and he lets him through. Interesting angle on that. Racing at Home and Speedster haven't really had the best relationship in the past, but Speedster being let through by Racing at Home. Only way to do so.
I was going to say they've, not really seen eye to eye on certain things racing-wise. As Racing at Home
goes wide.
Big twitch there.
Venom's through.
Yeah. Venom is through. Yeah. I'm not sure if Racing at Home made a mistake because he was actually quite a ways back from Emmanuel.
He did. He must have made a mistake.
He must have. Yeah.
I think the gap was about 7 seconds, and now it's 14, so he's pretty much doubled that.
Yeah. No, I'm surprised with how many times Emmanuel spun in the first 20 minutes of the race. He's up in P5, so this race is just completely just been, tossed and shaken upside down, and, just crazy with, you can make a mistake and still come and regain positions.
It's fallen apart, I think, this race. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
As my voice
I think your voice is falling apart, too. Yeah,
my voice is definitely going now. I'm starting to get the cough back. Speedster leads 22 seconds from this in second down. Emmanuel in 5th. I'm going to quickly mute my mic. and I'm going to have some
Gotcha.
a nice little lemon cake. So I'll be back in a minute.
Excellent. Sounds good. I'm not sure what James is watching right now on board, but I'm with Racing at Home. He's catching.
Yep, Racing at Home.
Not catching Venom, but yep, gotcha. I'm on board with Racing at Home, and he's catching Venom. I'm not catching. We'll see what happens. Venom is actually catching Emmanuel. See if Emmanuel makes any mistakes, but he's driving quite consistently, to be honest. Bart again putting in a pretty good showing. Emmanuel's actually catching Bart though. So. 2 lap times. Yeah, Emmanuel was about 2.5 seconds faster than Bart that time. So if he keeps that up, he'll have a P4. Emmanuel locks up and almost goes wide at turn 1.
Yeah, Racing at Home on the back of Venom as well. But Emmanuel, yeah, 6 seconds off the back of Bart now out on track. That's for P4 and P5. Emmanuel really gaining. I've still got a little bit of lemon cake, which is why I'm probably eating still.
You're fine. I have a Subway sandwich right here that I'm trying to eat as well. So I think, yeah, it's all good.
But Emmanuel really closing in.
Emmanuel's putting in some good laps. I mean, he's putting in laps that are comparable to Speedstep. Speedstep put in a 22.1. Emmanuel put in a 22.3. Bart a 25.1. Coming up to the S's now for Bart. Emmanuel just right behind him. I want to ride on board with Emmanuel though, kind of just watch his lines, kind of watch his throttle and his brake inputs for about a minute or so.
Yeah, a bit of a awkward line going through the Vox DS's there.
Yeah,
very weird.
He was just late on the brakes or something.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was late on the brakes and he didn't realise until he was stopping in the corner. Bart is 59 seconds behind the leader, but 12 seconds off the back of Darren. That gap has stayed so consistent as of late. I had to do that. Bart in P4. Flaky, by the way, still picked up no penalties. And there is the penalties
Good
up there. Emmanuel's got 14 now. Oh, Racing at Home's got 11.
11? Where'd that come from?
Where did that come from? He was on 1, I think.
He only had, he had like 3 or something we were on a few minutes ago. Something I noticed though, riding on board with Emmanuel, he has 18.8 liters of fuel left. There's only 17 minutes to go. Is he going to make it?
He should do.
And
18 and a half. Yeah, I think he'll make it.
Because Bart has 20.3, Darren has 23.4, so he's good to go. Nism has 19.4, Speed says 18.8, he's cutting it kind of close, but Emmanuel has 18.2, I'm not sure.
It's only
really close.
He's only half a litre less than Speedster, if you think about it.
That is true. Yeah, he should be fine.
Should be fine.
Racing Home has 18.3. He's going through the fuels. Yeah, we're all good, I think.
Hopefully everyone is all good. Venom obviously making that mistake early on with his fuel, but currently in 6th position. Given that he's had to have a pit stop, and given that he's spun a couple of times, he's having a very good debut race, I think. He's got the pace, he's just been unlucky with the fuel. And if it wasn't for his pit stop, I think he would be in 2nd.
I think he would be in 2nd. I think he'd probably be around 10 or so seconds behind Speedstep, maybe even less.
Yeah.
But I think he's just trying to put in a good showing, and hopefully he can get P5, maybe even P4. That'd be excellent for him.
Definitely think Venom might be the one to watch if he's coming back next week. I think he's the newest addition to the LMP3 family. So if he is coming back next week, well, we have got an absolute treat for him next week. And I'm going to get up in the chat and tell you what is going to be happening next week. Oh, it's a wet race at Monza. Fantastic.
Oh, gosh. Wait, a wet race at Monza?
At Monza, yeah.
Well, that'll be...
At night time.
Are you serious? At night time?
Yep. That's what it says on the calendar.
If we're seeing gaps of about 2 minutes from 1st to 9th, I think we're going to see gaps maybe double or triple that next week at Monza. Nighttime and the wet. With these cars, I'll be glad to be dry up in the comms box with you. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think honestly, it's going to be quite something to see how these guys are going to compete. From obviously going to Donington in the dry to competing in wet conditions at Monza at night. Or at like sunset conditions. It'll be like 8 o'clock, I think.
It'll probably start with a little bit of sunlight, then it'll probably transition to dark about halfway through. but it's a very high-speed circuit, and if these drivers are making mistakes here at medium to low speed, high-speed circuit, if you make a mistake and go off, those walls are right off the track. I mean, your rear wings are going to be all over the place, and I think there's going to be potential a lot of damage, so the drivers are going to have to put in the practice and have to drive possibly a different type of race to even just make it to the end next week.
But take note. For your wings.
Leave the lawnmower at home.
Leave the lawnmower at home, and yeah. Oh, I've just seen something on Facebook there. I won't update that on the stream because I've just seen what's happened. But Speedster leads the way. They'll miss him second. Sinclair. Speedster's been setting very consistent high 121s during this race. A 21.9 last time around. Really dominant.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing really more to say. He's just put in a good drive. He seems like a robot today and last week. I mean, I haven't really seen him make any mistakes, and his lines are good, and I mean, he just feels at home. He looks, I mean, no pun intended, racing at home, but he just looks comfortable in that car, and there's nothing that can stop him at the moment, in my opinion, unless he, gets crashed into or something. But like, you see how careful he was during that last turn at Goddard, going onto the main straight. He just cuts across. Who's that car there? That's Emmanuel, I think.
Oh, right on the back of him. Whoa.
I don't know what Emmanuel was doing.
Yeah, trying to be an Ocon against Verstappen again.
Absolutely. If you get some sort of net code, I do not want to be in the Discord chat if that happens.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Race the home into the pits. Damage?
Did he spin?
He must have done. Out of the pit lane. There's Flaky. He's down to 8th. Down to 8th, and he's going to be well ahead of Aguilera, because Aguilera's only coming through the exit of the Melbourne hairpin there.
Yeah.
It's home.
Venom is
out of the pit
still
lane.
catching...
Oh, and Andy's left.
And
unfortunate.
Why?
He could have picked up points.
He could have. I was going to say he was in P9, right? Or P10.
He was in P10, but he still could have picked up good points.
A few points, and that's, yeah, I don't know.
Just think that could be
any points. That could be the difference at the end of the championship. I was just about to say, yeah. Or you're about to say that,
Constructors, I'm thinking, as well.
Constructors as well, absolutely. He could have, like, if the next few races go his way and he wins, 3 or 4 on the trot, and he'll be back in contention, and those few points may be the difference at the end. I remember Aguilera won the GT3 championship last year in Tier 2, and he won it by a point or 2 points or something. It was very, very close.
Yeah, it was 1 point, because I joined for the final race of the season with Alan and Colin.
I remember that, yeah.
Which was unreal, because I think we had a 4 drivers could potentially have won that. And then Aguilera came out on top.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think
it's been proven before.
He was the one that started 4th in the championship as well, coming into that night, I think.
I remember, yep. There was like a poll on Twitter or something, and that's actually one prediction I did get right. I put Aguilera to win the championship, and he got up by 1 point. I was very proud of him. But yeah, as time and time proven before, 1 or 2 points here and there can definitely make the difference at the end of the championship. So.
It can definitely make the difference. And I mean, Speedster Darren, currently as it stands, I'm going to do some maths. I'm going to have a look, do my favourite thing in the whole world, and do some maths. Let me have a look at the point system that we have, points format. So, first would get... Okay, right. Timings is going to have to be very key. So, Speedster would be in the lead of the championship by 1 point. And that 1 point comes as a result of his fastest lap.
Oh, because they get a point for fastest lap, don't they?
And 2 points for pole position, actually. So Speedster's actually out in front by 3 points.
What?
Yeah.
2 points for pole position? Oh my goodness. 2 points for pole, 1 point for fastest lap, and then how many points does first place get? Is it still 25?
20 points for first, third gets 15. And that's where they are at the minute.
Interesting.
Second gets 17.
He'll take the lead.
Wow. Very close, very close. Speedster will take the lead. I think for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, this season, since H Racing Green took the lead of the race, the lead of the championship, Speedster will be back out in front for the first time in what, 4 or 5 rounds?
Something like that. But Venom could actually put in the fastest lap because right now Speedster has it at 21.5 and Venom is at 21.6. So
yeah,
that'll be
minute margins.
Yeah, but right now Speedster's gonna pull it out of the hat. He's gonna do what's that called? Like the clean sweep, or you know where you get
Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam, yeah, that's what it is. Sorry, I'm gonna remember for the life of me.
Pole position.
But yeah,
fastest lap possibly, and the win, which looks nigh on guaranteed because Nissim's 30 seconds behind and Darren is over a minute behind.
Seconds.
Yeah, Nissim's got 6 seconds. Speedster's got 4. Racing Home has now got the most penalties out on track. He's got 16 seconds.
Well, I thought you couldn't overtake Emmanuel for penalties, but he's proven me wrong today.
And yeah, he has
16 seconds.
16 seconds, and he's 2 minutes behind the leader. That is Speedster. Speedster now over 30 seconds ahead of Nissim. Darren is 1 minute and 5 behind. There is a chance before the end of this race. Speedster is only coming out of Coppice. There is a chance, with Bart now getting lapped for 4th, there is a chance Speedster could get Darren before the end of the race.
That would be... Oh, that just shows the raw pace that Speedster has. I'm looking at the gaps too. Bart is still maintaining that 11 to 12 second gap to Darren. Emmanuel is he only 4 seconds behind Bart?
Yeah, and Venom's only 2 seconds behind Emmanuel, or less than 2 seconds.
Hey, we could have like a final battle with the 7 minutes remaining or 8 minutes remaining.
We could. Oh my god. Everyone, the 6 viewers that are tuning in will probably be thinking this is the most excitement we've had all night as Bart is into the pits. Not enough fuel.
What?
Not enough fuel. 6.8 litres of fuel with 7 minutes left. Wouldn't have got to the end.
Emmanuel's not going to make it either. He has 4.5. I called it. That one prediction I've gotten right tonight. That's my one I've gotten tonight. These guys are not going to make it on fuel.
And Venom's going to finish 4th. Bart is only... Bart out of the pit lane now. Flaky is going through the Melbourne hairpin and runs wide through the Melbourne hairpin.
Bart's got P6 probably. Actually, he might get P5 because Emmanuel's going to have to pit as well.
Yep, Emmanuel will have to pit, so it's going to be really intriguing this final couple of laps. Speedster will have to pit as well. 3.9 litres of fuel.
Oh my goodness.
And this one's got 4.4. These guys are going to have to pit.
Darren is going to win the race.
No way.
This is not possible.
He could get second. I don't think he'll win the race. He's 1 minute and 7 seconds behind. And a pit stop's what, 30 seconds? Speedster is going to be on the limit for pit stops.
How is this possible?
Oh my god.
How did they miscalculate this? Did they know?
Well, we had the change in conditions, didn't we? Speedster into the pits. Speedster into the pits, not taking any chances at all, the American, from the lead of the race. This is drama personified.
Talk about it. I mean, after the race that we've had today, and we thought it was all done and dusted, just kind of relaxing, eating our sandwiches and your lemon cake, and call it a day. But 7 minutes remaining, and it's just all taking a turn for the worse for some of these guys.
Speedster's back out in front, is in the lead of the race.
Speedster's still going to win it.
Yeah, Nissim's only round Goddard's. So Speedster, Nissim into the pits. Darren could get second. He's coming through Coppice. No, we won't have any chance. I think Nissim will stay second.
No. Okay, well, we thought it was going to get all turned upside down, and here we go back to our sandwiches and our lemon cake. Okay. Emmanuel's into the pits.
Yeah, Emmanuel in.
Back up to P5.
Bart is on 19 litres. He's fine. Rest at home. He's now up to 6th. He's got 11.5. He's fine. Venom's fine as well. Darren's fine. Oh my god. Speedster leading. But what drama. Nissim out in second. Sinclair is only through the Melbourne hairpin. So Nissim well out in front in second. And it's still 32 seconds the gap. So Speedster's actually gained time out of the pit lane.
My goodness.
Which is unheard of.
How does... Wow. The Venom up to P4... I thought he was going to be like, I don't know, P6 or P5 at the best, but...
How on earth he's P4 is absolutely beyond me. just going to miss out on a podium interview, bless him. Oh, Speedster leads though. 4.5 minutes left. Speedster leads. Nissim in second position. And Darren in third. Top three have remained as they are somehow, coming out of the pit lane. Emmanuel, by the way, rejoined ahead of Flaky. So that's quite interesting as well. So Emmanuel now ahead of Flaky out on track. Oh, creating his own experience of track limits there.
Yeah.
Emmanuel now coming through the Melbourne hairpin in seventh. Flaky's still yet to pick up any sort of penalties. He's actually improving on his personal best by nearly 5/10 of a second. Is Flaky, so that's not too bad at all. Doing a grand job, bless him. Everyone's doing a grand job. Still in 9th position. Oh, still 9 people going, I should say.
Yeah, because we've only lost who? We've only lost, what, Alan
and Andy.
Andy, yep.
And you obviously retiring into the commentary box.
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on racing anyway. I think I would have put in a pretty poor showing, to be honest.
To be honest,
my cup of tea.
To be honest, you could have got P4 with the race, with how this race has provided us. Honestly,
I could have if I kept it on the track and didn't spin. That would have been interesting. It's like, oh yeah, the commentator getting P4. But
commentator getting P4.
Much more comfortable up here, and we'll definitely be much more comfortable with you next week at Monza.
In the West, at night.
Survival of the
fittest.
I don't know, fittest. Yeah, whoever can keep it out of the walls.
Survival of the fittest. Ascari, I think, is going to be especially tricky in those wet conditions.
Absolutely.
That's going to be absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. But Speedster leads 32.2 seconds. The gap to Nissim. Darren Sinclair in third. I think we should prepare the commentary box, to be honest, for these interviews already. Then we can get straight into them once they're finished.
Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, I don't think this top three will budge unless they make a mistake. I'm on 1 bar on my controller as well, so that's not great. But we'll manage. We'll cope. I'm gonna wait until maybe.
Wait, yeah. I think there's about like 6 or 7 minutes to go. Then Venom might be able to catch Darren. His times are definitely better. I think Darren just made a mistake last lap. He did a 26.7 compared to Venom that did a 22.8. But I don't think there's just enough time.
Yeah, I'm just saying we've got 2 minutes left, and I mean Speedster out in front by 32 seconds, so we should have 2 more laps to go out on track. So we should get to end of lap 44. Speedster though across the line. He's got about a 23 second buffer compared to his lap time that he's just set, 1:22 flat, and he's still setting consistent lap times. It's unbelievable. Darren, by the way, 27.1 last time around. Venom, 23.7.
Yeah.
7 seconds the gap. He'd be hoping that Venom does not close in that much. It's even less the gap. It's actually about 6 seconds. Darren's really struggling. He's saving fuel. He is saving fuel.
Well, he should be okay. He has 3.6, right? There comes
There's 2
Venom
more laps to go, though. This is going to be really close. 5 seconds the gap.
Yeah,
I can honestly see Venom getting third.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. He's short shifting and he's lifting and coasting the corners, and he's being very delicate on that throttle. Look how quick he should be shifting at 4,800 RPMs.
Goodness me. 3 litres of fuel. I don't think he's going to make it to the end. I do not think he's going to make it to the end. Somebody's into the pits. Agulator into the pits. There is Venom out the final corner. From the gap of 7 seconds, it's now 3 in 1 lap. Darren will be
here in the. Oh my gosh.
Darren will be overtaken this lap. It's as simple as that.
What is this race?
Unbelievable.
How did these drivers have miscalculated this massively with the fuel?
Darren, 2.3 litres of fuel. Speedster is on the final lap.
They must have thought they could have made it. Yeah, he's on the last lap. They must have thought that they could make it, and then maybe the pace was better than they expected. I'm not quite sure.
This is why you don't interview. This is why you don't invite your interviewees 2.5 minutes before the end of the race. Good job I didn't, because Venom could be landing himself
right there
on a podium, and Sinclair lets him through.
God.
There's nothing he can do. Venom is through, and he's up to 3rd position. He traditionally moved to the left-hand side of the track, thinking that Sinclair was going to do something, but he can't. He can't do anything about it. And to be honest, I think Sinclair's going to drop behind Bart as well.
If I was Darren, I would lift off and let Speedster pass so that you would just finish a lap behind. And I think that's what he's going to try to do.
I think that's what he's going to do.
If you cross the line before Speedster, he's going to have to do that final lap. He needs to let Speedster go.
Final lap. It's going to be tight because Speedster out of Goddard, out of Melbourne hairpin. Sinclair might actually just... Is he going to wait from round Goddard's? Runs wide.
He needs to.
And
yeah.
Sinclair waits for him. Going to finish a lap behind. Wisest thing to do. Speedster's just probably thinking, what on earth are you doing?
What is he doing?
Speedster across the line to win. Here, dominant performance by the American out on track. Nissim, the Bosnian, of all people, is going to land himself a 2nd position out on track. It's a fantastic result for Nissim. We have got Bart, by the way, across the line in 5th. Resner Home will finish in 6th. He's just chasing down Nissim, just in behind him out on track. Oh my goodness me. Nissim ran the final corner, through Goddard's for the final time, and he'll come across the line in 2nd. Oh, and that is actually Resner Home spinning into the wall in the background of shot there. I saw that. You're not getting away with that one. Oh, and a battle between Flaky and Emmanuel. What's going on here? Flaky and Emmanuel having a battle. Flaky runs wide, Emmanuel down the inside. This is for position, this is for P7. And Flaky, I think, is going to come out on top. Yeah, Emmanuel, I think he knew penalty. He jumps to 6th, Resner Home down to 7th. Flaky up to 6th.
Those penalties Oh my goodness. Oh, that's not what we want to see. Those penalties from Racing Home and Emmanuel, what was it, like 16 or 18 seconds of penalties or something?
Yeah, Venom is going to be the final one to come across the line to finish in 3rd position. Goodness me, what a race.
Well done.
What an ending.
Well done by him.
Speedster has won from Nissim in 2nd, Venom in 3rd position, Sinclair in 4th, Bart in 5th, Flaky in 6th, Racing Home at 19 seconds worth of penalties. So he's finished in the end 6 seconds behind Flaky as a result of penalties. So Flaky 6th, Racing Home in 7th, Emmanuel in 8th, Aguilera in 9th, and you in 10th position. So you pick up a couple of points.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that, indeed.
I didn't even do a lap. I didn't set a 1 lap and I got 10th place. Look at that.
Right.
Points on the board.
We're going to have to suggest people to the party, especially Venom. Because I don't have him on my friends list.
I don't have him... I might, actually. Well,
I've just left the lobby as well, so that's not great. Tell you what, I can invite both of them in. Both, yeah. Hopefully he accepts. Hopefully he's watching the stream and he accepts. Otherwise, he's not going to get an interview. It's simple as that. Fantastic. Speedster, I'm going to get him and Mr. Sinclair. No, not Mr. Sinclair. Nissim. Goodness me, I was going to invite the 4th place person in there. Gee. Right. I'll invite Speedster in. Right, Speedster's been invited. Nissim and... Oh. And, Venom.
What's Venom's, username?
His username? XX? Oh, goodness me. Let me have a look on the race. I'll see if I can point him out and find his name. Oh, there it is. X, right. Lowercase double X.
Ah, got it. There he is.
Venom. Fantastic. Oh. Yeah, should have everyone. So, there he is. And I need to get Nissim in, but I don't think Nissim's on my friends list either. Which is great. Sorry about all the blue screens here. High grade saying he missed because of race. He missed the race because of being at work. Which is the same. Work takes first priority, though. That's the thing.
Make that money.
Right, all three have been invited, so hopefully we are going to get some driver interviews in and done.
Can you just give me a second? I have to go do something really quick. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Yep, no worries. We'll go, hopefully, from third to first. That's what I was going to plan to do. I was going to go third, second, and first tonight, instead of first, second, and third. Ah.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully we get
the other two in here.
Yeah, both Nissim and Venom have both been invited into the party that we're in, into the commentary box. So hopefully we're going to see them both peer into this commentary, into the commentary box, hopefully for interviews. But in the end, quite a, let's just describe it as a bit of a bore. How would you rate that race out of 10?
I'd probably give it, I don't know, 2.5, 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking around the same.
You know, we had a lot of spins and a lot of change of position, but you know, the cause of the change of positions was due to the spins and due to mistakes and all that. So, a bit unfortunate to see. Obviously, we had all the pit stop drama at the end, which you know we thought was going to possibly change the positions and whatnot, and you know, obviously Darren ran out of fuel at the end, so that kind of gave us some something to see, something to watch the last few minutes. But hopefully a better race next week at Monza at night in the rain, and I can't stress that enough. Monza at night in the rain with LMP3s, so see how that goes.
If you couldn't ask for 3 worst things in life, Monza in the rain at night.
At night.
There you go.
I think the rain and the night kind of make it the very interesting combo.
Very interesting combo. It'll be very interesting to see, of course, how these drivers fare. We are still waiting for Venom to join the box, and hopefully he will be joining.
He did a fantastic race, to be honest.
Fantastic race, considering he underfueled completely at the start of the race. He did a fantastic job. Just seeing if there's anything being said on LMP3s. Or the LMP3 chat. No. He said, apparently Venom said he put 100 litres in by mistake. Apparently.
That was for the strategy, like in the pit window.
Ah.
Like yeah, no, he started with 27, I think is what he said.
Yeah, and then he obviously fueled up to about 80 odd litres of fuel. Hopefully he can
max
join.
Fuel from there.
I've just seen Andy's comment. I'm not going to repeat it because of PG-15 and everything on the stream, but yeah, he's not happy with how he went in the race. That's all I'm going to say. What I'll do then is I'll start off the interviews and I'll go to Nissim first, who finished, of course, in second position. Nissim, how was your race?
Boring, pretty. Not much happening.
Yeah.
I avoided somebody spinning on the start, and from then on it was pretty much just, yeah.
Like trying to keep it on the track?
Yeah, pretty much. Really uneventful race.
Professional?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, you know, how'd your race go and all that stuff, but boring, and I think we kind of saw some of that, and I mean, you did a good job, you know, keeping it together and whatnot. But yeah, a good P2, and you had to pit at the end, right?
Yeah. I think it would have run out of fuel towards the end if I didn't pit. So I think more or less everybody pitted. I don't know if somebody managed to go the entire distance without pitting, but I think it was pretty much spread throughout the field.
Darren did it, but he had me lap him because otherwise he would have made it. Like if he had done all the laps, so he was a lap short.
He also had to have like Venom also passed him because he just had no more fuel, so he lost P3 and Venom got up to P4, or Venom went from P4 to P3. Sorry. Yeah, that's all I got for Nissim. Good job, man, on P2, and hopefully a more eventful race next week. But hey, got the points, got the position, so that's all that matters.
Oh, I may not be next races, depending on how things work out in private life, but let's see.
Are you going to be attending next week in Monza?
I don't know. I may or may not be attending. I don't know. As it looks right now, I'm not going to be attending next week and the week after that. But things might change.
If you do, though,
but maybe yes.
If you do, though, how do you think you're going to get on around there?
I don't know. I like. It's Monza, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Next one. I like the track. I like the wets, and I like night. So it's. I'm looking forward to it if I manage to attend it.
Perfect.
Well, that sounds. Yeah, perfect combination, and sounds like you're going to enjoy that, and we might have our next wet weather master here.
Hopefully you attend next week, Nissim, because it'll be a shame not to have you on the grid. But I'll let you go and enjoy your night.
Thank you.
And I think we have got... Have we got Venom in? Is Venom here? Or is he not joined?
Not yet.
No, Venom's not joined. So we'll move on then to our race winner. And that, of course, is Speedster, the utterly dominant Speedster, who now, I can reliably inform you, you've taken the championship lead off Darren Sinclair. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. Can't lie. Especially considering the new points format has it that I was afraid if I was even be able to get the lead. Because, you know, like a win is 20 points, second's only 17, so, you know, I'm just very happy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a really, really dominant win, and again, I'm pretty impressed. From last week in Brno to today, it just seems like you're very comfortable with the car. Like the lines you're taking, the apexes you're taking, your braking, your car control was pretty much on point tonight. I didn't really see anybody else that could match the control that you had, so it definitely showed. I know you put in a lot of practice. It's paying off. So another P1. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta work on my starts. I want to use the excuse that he had less fuel, so he was able to get a better start. But at the end of the day, yeah, I gotta work on those. I'm definitely losing out there, and I was stuck in his dirty air at the end, at the start, which it made me at least a little bit more uncomfortable. I was able to handle it fine, but you know, I knew I had the speed, and I just wanted to kind of drive away with it. But him getting out in front of me definitely changed the plan up a little bit. I was actually really scared in the first 10 minutes because I saw him pulling away on me, and I was like, he might have the pace today. And the thought of him being underfueled was in the back of my mind, so I wasn't sure. But at the time, I was just a little afraid that he might drive away from me, but I was able to keep around like a 1.52 second gap, I think. Mm-hmm. So at the end it worked out, but you know, a little scary.
James, anything?
No, I don't really have much to say, to be honest. Otherwise than to say, obviously, congratulations on the win. Monza next week, wet conditions, night race. How do you think you're going to get on?
Oh, jeez.
That's the first time he's heard that, I think.
Our mastermind, Alan Cavanero, decided to fling both night and rain at us. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to rain in the beginning and dry up, which could mean tire change and a pit stop. It's good as everyone's going to do. I would not be surprised if that's the case, however, because it's night, it's not going to dry up as quickly than it would during the day with the sun out. So I don't really know what to expect. I'm expecting a pit stop also because in terms of Monza, high power circuit, high speed, we're using up a lot of fuel, so we're going to have to make a fuel stop anyways, in which case it won't be a big deal to just throw on some slicks once the rain stops. But I don't know, it's going to be fun, that's for sure. Monza, historic track, driven thousands of laps on the F1 game there, so it's a track I definitely know. But we'll see, and as always, I'm just looking forward to it.
I'm kind of worried about the puddles. Like, do you think there's going to be puddles when it kind of dries up, since it's not sunny, it's not obviously in the daytime, so do you think the rain is going to stay and you guys are going to form that dry line? If anybody goes off of it or puts a wheel off into the puddles, do you think they're going to just have a massive spin and go off?
It's definitely a concern, especially on the straights, because to my knowledge, I don't think the track drains that well. I'm not quite sure. It seems very flat. And again, if it's a flat, in terms of the only bagged corner you really have in there is Parabolica, in which case you might have to worry about just not hitting the inside. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting. That's definitely a good point, and it's definitely something we're going to have to all watch out for, because dip one of those tires and you're spinning. So also, because it's night, the temperatures are going to be an absolute nightmare. Getting heat into these tires is going to... I mean, it was a problem today because we changed the date up, which is something I was worried about, and I couldn't get any heat into my front right. My other tires were fine, but this is going to be a night race at Monza with long straights, going onto slicks after rain. Getting heat in these tires is going to be a nightmare, but I might be able to do some things with the setup to help fix that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on P1, and yeah, you seem to be just driving differently and like a different racer. So yeah, looking forward to see what you can do and for the rest of the championship.
Thank you, Professional.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic to see how this is going to take forward, and I'll let you go and enjoy your afternoon/evening.
Thank you, guys. Great job commentating as always, and congratulations to the other guys in the podium.
Enjoy watching the ball race back.
See you next week, man.
See ya. And that is it. Venom not available. I haven't got him on my friends list, so that's probably why he can't join for the interview, which is a shame, because we want to hear his thoughts. But that is it for tonight. We go, of course, next week to Monza, a track that I'm familiar of, the Autodromo Nacional de Monza, with some legendary tracks. I think it's going to be a great race. Rain, night, Monza, can't beat it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think we're going to have to be on point to catch everything. I think we're going to have lots of potential puddles and different approaches to the setup and to just the race, and run out of fuel. So that's going to play into strategy a lot. When do people pit, and when do people change tires? If they even have to change tires, is it going to dry up enough? So yeah, I think we're in for a treat for next week.
Yeah, plenty of factors I think that could come into play for these drivers. Obviously, to deliver out on track. Monza going to be a whole different race to Donington. We're going to end the stream here, though. My voice is absolutely aching. I've literally been commentating non-stop for 3 hours. So, I deserve a rest. But thank you so much, Professional, joining me once again. And we'll be back next week to take you through Monza. And
Sounds good.
Yeah, that is it from us. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, which the next time we'll be live will be Tuesday night for the first evaluation race on Formula 1 2020 for TTML. Until then, I've been James Head, he's been 007 Professional. Please take care of yourselves, and we will see you next week for CRC, and indeed for TTML as well. Take care, and goodbye.